This movie came out less than a year after the first one, but I was definitely left surprised. Let's talk about it.
Oh, shit.
Did you hear that?
VHS 2 is similar to VHS, in which people break into a house, they stumble across a bunch of VHS tapes and start to watch them. And of course things get weirder and weirder after each tape that they view. Now, I didn't really care for VHS too much. There were a couple of stories that I enjoyed, but overall the movie left me really underwhelmed. I thought the acting was really bad. The only thing I really cared for was the unique stories, but I thought that for the most part they weren't executed that well. There's only 2 stories in there that I really thought were done pretty decent. But I really liked the general idea of the movie, so I was really excited to see if they could capitalize on that with VHS 2, and wow, did they do this movie 100 times better than the first one. And I was excited for VHS 2 because I really liked the idea of the first one, and I'm a huge fan of anthology stories. One thing I really liked about it is the trailer didn't give too much away about the movie, so I was still left really surprised by a lot of things. So I'm not going to talk too much about specifics in each story, because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, especially since the trailer kept everything hidden pretty well. But VHS 2 excels on almost everything over VHS. The acting still isn't perfect, but I thought it was a lot better than VHS and it was more believable. The performances in the movie you can get on board with. They seem a lot more natural in real life scenarios, so I definitely like the acting a lot more, and it allowed me to get more involved into the stories. And I just thought the stories were executed a lot better and felt a little bit more complete this time around. Just like in VHS, there's a lot of unique ways that they utilize the filming because they're giving you that first person perspective. And it's no different for VHS 2. They use a lot of unique camera tricks, and I really like how they presented it. Now, one thing that might bug a lot of people, and if this bugged you about the first VHS, this will definitely bug you about this one as well, is there's no over-explaining of anything. You basically watch the events as they happen in real time to a particular person or group of people on that day, and that's what you get. Personally, I love that about the movies, because there's no way you're going to have that shit explained. If I were to go outside and just start filming my day, and I started getting chased by a serial killer who could travel time and teleport and all that, I wouldn't know what the hell was going on. I was just filming it. If I happened to film the whole thing as it was happening, you wouldn't know anything different than I would, and that's exactly how the stories are presented. I really like that because you're basically put in the shoes of the people that are in these events. The effects are really good too. It looked as if everything was done practical, and for one story in particular, the gore effects were amazing. If you've seen the movie, you know which story I'm talking about, and if not, you will definitely know. And there are some legitimate creepy moments. They build the suspense up really good, and there were a couple of moments where I was on the edge of my seat. There's also some decent jump scares, and they're not done cheesy either. They build you up with the suspense, and they do surprise you with them. Now, there are a couple things I could have done without because they felt a little bit forced, but I can look past it, and they're just minor complaints. One of the stories, I think they could have ended about 10 seconds sooner, and it would have done a lot better for the story. Now, the overall wraparound story is very similar to the first VHS. I found this one to be a little bit less interesting with the characters, but the overall payoff was a lot better. I did not like the payoff in the first VHS at all. They definitely make up for it in this one. I hope they do something a little bit different for the third VHS, because I'm sure they're going to make one. If not, and this is what their niche is, and this is what they're going to do, I'm okay with that, but I'd like to see something a little bit different for the third one. With how quick this was put together, this movie could have been a disaster, and they could have just been capitalizing off the success of the first movie, just trying to make some money. But this movie fully exceeded my expectations, and I think if they keep it up, this could be a really successful horror franchise. I enjoyed VHS 2 a lot more than the first VHS. If you liked the first VHS, I'm sure you're going to love this one. If you didn't like the first VHS, I would highly recommend giving this a chance because it is much better. I thought it was executed a lot better, and overall I enjoyed this film a lot more. Make sure to check out some of my other reviews, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow everything else that I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, keep it groovy.